pure te pure, whai whenua I ka te pure. E unga I koe I ngā hau ai tū mai o te pō, I ngā kanakana mana mai o te pō. Tātai mai te waka e rangi e, ko te waka o te hinga noa e rangi e. Ko te waka o te mate noa e rangi e, pō ki tupua te pō, pō ki tawhito te pō. Kei runga nei te tahi ao, kei raro nei te tahi ao. Ao ki tupua te ao ki tawhito te ao. Ka hapa e ngā te uwha, he kopi, he kopa, tainaki no tū e, tainaki no tū e. Ko tō manawa, ko tōku manawa, kia homai tō manawa ma te mōku, kia hoatu tōku manawa ora mō whiti ora, maranga mai ki runga. We've had a massive few days, the likes of which we hope never to see again. And on the ground amongst the world media hub is Jody Ihaka. Jody, what's the latest there?
Kia ora, Scotty. Well, today is Sunday, so it's obviously all about faith. Hundreds of churches around Christchurch have opened their doors. They've asked anyone of any denomination to come in, pause, reflect, and find some time to find some faith to move forward. I'm currently standing here at the art gallery where hundreds of international media are here covering this tragedy. There's also hundreds of search and rescue workers that have been preparing all morning to go back into the central business district to search for survivors.
Tēnā koe, Jody, tēnā rawa te koe moena whakamārama. I te wā o te pakanga, I te wā o te matihere, ka tū ngātahi ahi tradia me Aotearoa. Kua whakai te Premier o ahi tradia, a Julia Gillard, kia tuku mai I te 5 miliona tāra me te hiarau prihimana ki konei, tai atu ki te tokomaha o ngā mātanga kimi tāngata ngaro. Ko te kōrero e ahu mai ana I ngā kai whakaora I te pokapū o te taone, o tira I te wāhi e rāhui tiana. E tino whakapono tonu ana rātou, tērā rātou te ki te morehu I tēnei parekura, I te rātonu nei, me ngā rā e tū mai nei. Jody Ihaka with this report.
Day by day, brick by brick, the hunt for survivors continues. More than 300 Australian emergency search and rescue workers are here to help. Andy Peake is one of them.
How do you feel about actually coming to help out New Zealand, given your part of the world hasn't been doing too well from Mother Nature either?
You've got to spread it around. If the shoes were reversed or the boots were reversed, you guys be over here giving us a hand in a heartbeat, I'm sure.
We've just come from a police briefing where we were told that, sadly, there have been no survivors found today. From your experience, does that mean we're not likely to find any more?
No, far from it. There's obviously a survivability window, and as that window extends, the survivability obviously decreases. But as you've obviously seen in other disasters around the world, there's always those guys who are plucked out days, sometimes even weeks later. But we're still fairly confident and certainly very hopeful that we will find in some of these little pockets inside various buildings that we'll find some more live people. So it's very, very much a live rescue operation, most definitely.
The international response was swift. Japan, Taiwan, America and Singapore. But there's no doubt that the Anzac spirit is a guiding force in this particular mission.
There's a lot of destruction. It's a genuine disaster, but I think overall people are coping very well. We generally monitor emergencies and disasters that are happening actually across the world. Because we're an internationally accredited task force, we actually do quite a few international deployments. We were recently in Padang and Samoa. So we had a pretty bad feeling about this one from the initial time that we heard the report, so we started to prepare straight away. The Australian teams won't ever respond into a country unless the country actually requests it, but obviously the relationship between Australia and New Zealand is so close that it was a pretty good bet that we would come to assist as New Zealand would come to assist us if we needed. In fact, it did recently in the Queensland floods. I worked with a number of New Zealand disaster experts who came over to help us.
The teams are spread over the city at 3 main recovery sites. I joined the international media on a police-controlled mission to see the damage and the recovery process. Andy has been working on the PGR building.
Do you know what these helicopters are doing? We saw them lowering what looked like equipment onto the top of the really tall building.
Yeah, from what I understand, there's a building which is structurally unsound and not safe to enter from the ground floor as we normally would do. So I believe that guys have been actually lowered onto the top of the building and are then going from the top down to the bottom, doing a floor by floor search just to make sure there are actually no survivors inside the building.
More than 200 people are registered as still missing. The death toll is estimated to become New Zealand's worst ever tragedy. Many died simply by catching the bus in the central business district, where we are now. This makes me nervous.
How do you cope with some of the unimaginable scenes that you must see?
Look, it's very sad. It saddens us because we didn't rescue the person, but we're realists. We understand people are going to die, people have died, and probably more people will die, unfortunately, through their injuries. It's never nice, it's never pleasant, it is upsetting, but we train for it, we accept it, we understand it, we do see it on a fairly regular basis.
An act of God may have broken this city, but a leap of faith will help restore it. How much of this is actual search and rescue rather than recovery?
Oh no, it's all search and rescue at this stage. Where there's voids, there's hope. Nobody really knows, but we're confident that, you know, if somebody is trapped in a void, that we will find them. And certainly people have lasted a lot longer than what we're talking about now. So Haiti was a good example where they were still bringing people out 10 and 12, 14 days afterwards. Obviously, as the time goes on, there's, you know, the chances of survival diminish. But certainly, you know, we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't think that there was a chance of people surviving, and we'll continue on until the New Zealand government says that, you know, they've done everything that possibly can happen.
Well, thank you, Australia. Thank you very much.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you.
Ka haere tonu ngā mahi kimi morehu I te pokapū o te taone, ko ia hoki te wāhi I tino hau kerekere hia e uru aumoko.